What's up guys, Pokelander here, and today we'll be looking at the new set that released in Japan, Black Bolt and WhiteFlare. This will obviously be the exact same, pretty much the exact same, 99% of it will be the exact same, if not all of it will be the exact same for the English release of Black Bolt and WhiteFlare. One of the first times, if not the first time, I think that the names are the exact same in both languages, which is pretty cool. Black Bolt and WhiteFlare. Yeah, these cards look amazing. I believe there is an illustration rare or slash SIR for each Pokemon in the Unova region, which is 156, right? So that's pretty insane. This set list is probably going to be crazy. And also there's going to be Pokeballs and Master Balls again. And I believe this box is similar to the 151 specialty set, right? So it's going to be 20 packs per box in the Japanese one, of course. And a Master Ball guaranteed, I believe. But of course, it's not like Prismatic though, or Terrassa Festival, where the SIRs are guaranteed. It's not like that. It's back to just an SIR or SR or better. But yeah, here is the card list on screen. Here are the pack arts. They look really nice. Of course, these will be pretty much the same in English, except for, of course, it's in English. And yeah, here are the Pokeballs and the Master Balls. And there it is. It looks amazing. Here are the new Full Art type rarities, BWR, but I don't know what that means. But those are new Full Art rarities, which is pretty cool. And yeah, but of course, you know, if you were lucky enough to get the Pokemon Center ETBs for the Black Bolt and WhiteFlare, they look killer. But yeah, and of course, I guess let's just start looking because there's so many cards to look at. And these will be the Black Bolt secret rares or the illustration rares slash SIRs. And there's a lot of them. And of course, it's gonna have the starters, Snivy, Superior, and as I guess, Nose Viper illustration rare, because I'm assuming it's again SIR. And yeah, Pansage. I mean, I don't even like these monkeys, but hey, they're there. That art is actually pretty killer though, I'm not gonna lie. Piplup, or Petalil rather, not Piplup, that's the dog. Lilligant, is this in regular? Yeah, it's a regular art rare, beautiful art. I mean, of course, if you don't want to see spoilers, just don't watch the video. Maractus, it's alright. It's alright, not my favorite Pokemon, and it's alright art, but I will say, this Carablast, that's insane art for an illustration rare and for a bug. That is insane art. That is killer. That is such a sick art. Fungus looks pretty good, but I do like this Amoonguss card a lot. I saw this card already. This card looks pretty killer, I'm not gonna lie. Again, Amoonguss is a funny Pokemon, nothing crazy. Of course, Victini the Goat. This art has been around already for a while now. I believe this is gonna be a promo in English, which is pretty cool. Darumaka, pretty cute, but nothing crazy. But the Dimantian looks killer. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty nice. The Dimantian in the background looks pretty good. Litwick looks pretty cool. Lamprints, alright. But the Chandelure, the Goat, sick art. I don't think, if it has an illustration rare, I'm assuming it's not gonna get an SIR. Chandelure is one of the best Pokemon ever made, and I was hoping for a Chandelure SIR, but it looks like it might just only be getting an illustration rare. So it's still really nice though, of course. Larvest is pretty cool. Look at that background, looks pretty killer. The Volcarona looks amazing. Pampor, again, another one of those monkeys I just don't really care about. And there's the evolution, the long-haired version, nothing crazy. Timepole looks pretty good. And then the evolution line, and I believe this artist is the same that made the Giratina, I think that's what that name was, the artist name. And it looks similar. So I think the same person that made the Magikarp and the Giratina alt, I believe is the same. So that, but for a Seismitoad, that's insane. That's most of these cards gonna be some of these Pokemon's best cards ever made. I mean, this is definitely Seismitoad's best card ever made. It's not even close. Seismitoad is funny though. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But there's a turtle. There's the evolution. Pretty cool. Nothing crazy though, in my opinion. And the Alomala, whatever the name is, a fish Pokemon. Nothing crazy. Looks alright. But Cupchew looks pretty cool, but the Beartic illustration rare looks killer. Looks pretty nice. I did see the regular holo for this card, and that holo looks insane. And I might like it more than the illustration rare. But yeah, let's just keep on going. There's so many, and I'll start skipping through a little bit. Electros looks pretty nice. Looks kind of I mean, I guess it looks like that wave art from Japan. It kind of looks similar in my opinion. Thunderous, I think this is gonna be a promo in the ETB. It looks pretty cool. And Solosis, beautiful arts, and the evolution line has all three. Ridiculous, there it is. But I do think the Solosis is the best art out of the three. It looks pretty nice. Elgum, the goat, not too bad, but the Behemoth, it's all right. The Belgum is Elgum is way nicer. Golit and Go Lurk. This Go Lurk is pretty cool. Killer. Drillbur, Timber. Timber always had. This is like the second card that Timber has that he's doing construction. Those are very similar, but I will say it's very nice. And same with the Go Lurk. Looks pretty nice. But Conquistador, that art is insane. I don't know why it looks futuristic compared to the other two. I think it's just because it's the neon colors, but that art looks insane. That is insane. And I'm already tired of Dweeble because that Dweeble illustration rare, or I guess it was the evolution. But this Dweeble art is beautiful. I got the Crustle art rare or illustration rare from Destined Rivals, and I was pretty sad. But this Dweeble art, that is amazing. That is amazing. Very nice. Landers, I believe the other promo in the other ETB, I believe. Let's keep on going because I really don't care for this line at all. Sandile, the freaking crocodile. It looks cool, but nothing crazy. And there's the final evolution right there. Pretty cool, but nothing amazing in my opinion. Vullaby, another Pokemon that I played a lot of Pokemon Go. And yeah, man, the Vullaby in the 10k egg was kind of annoying. Escavalier, alright. Poniard and the evolution line. Oh, where was it? Oh, I guess that's only a 2, I forgot. Pretty cool Bisharp, but the Cabolian. Okay, I guess there's no. I was waiting for the Virizion. Maybe it's in the other set. I don't know. But this Cabolian illustration rare, amazing. Cabolian's one of my favorite Pokemon. That trio is amazing. But Axew, Haxorus, and yeah, Haxorus right here. Insane card. For me, if this had texture, easy SAR card. It looks amazing. That card is sick. Pidove, it's alright. Pidove is alright. Tranquil though, alright. And then there's the final evolution, Uzavet or whatever the name is. But Audino, that is amazing because this art style or the yarn style by this artist has had so many hollows in the years of Pokemon. This yarn style. One of my favorites is a Snorlax in the Sword and Shield era. I forget what set that's from. And but here it is in an actual illustration rare. That is amazing. That is awesome. I love seeing that. And Minchino and Cinchino, or yeah, beautiful 2 illustration rares right there. So nice. And here are the full arts. That was all the illustration rares in just the BlackBolt set. Here are the full arts. Genesect, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, if not my favorite, in the shiny form, of course. Fantastic full art type, looks really nice. And then here's some trainers and looks really nice. And I believe this is Fennel, beautiful. And here is the superior SIR or SAR. Pretty nice. The Kyurem, I wish of course it was Black Kyurem, but Kyurem looks still amazing nonetheless. Zekrom, of course, in the BlackBolt sets. Meloetta, goated. And Excadrill, or I guess, yeah, Excadrill. An SAR for Excadrill. Kind of, I wasn't expecting that. And I will say, I'm not the biggest fan. Of course, it will look a lot different with texture, and that usually changes everything with texture. But he looks kind of lost. I know he's working, drilling, but it's not my favorite. Excadrill could have been, and I was hoping for it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I was hoping for a Genesect SAR, and there it is. Okay. Never mind. Genesect SAR looks amazing. Genesect is one of my favorite Pokemon. There it is. One of the goats. And then there's N's SAR. Looks pretty nice, but I will say I might like the full art a little bit more. I have to wait for the texture, of course, but and then here is the new full art BWR. I don't know what that means, so that's pretty cool. But there's only one of these. Maybe there'll be more. I'm not sure, but that's insane. And then of course, let's move on to the next set, the WhiteFlare. And yeah, there is just this. So many arts. Here's a Cottony, looks beautiful. That art is sick. Let's just keep on going. This, the Deerling's pretty killer. Okay, Deerling's pretty killer. Sounds book is all right, but the Deerling is definitely an amazing card, and yeah, that is amazing. Oh, here's a Verzian. Look at that. That's pretty nice. I will say I do like the Capoleon a little bit more. Here is the other starter, Tepig. There it is. Not too bad with the Embor. Another monkey. All right, that's whatever. Oshawott, the other starter. There it is. Okay, so I guess Superior or Seviper is the only one with the SAR. Not a bad choice. I do think Seviper is the best starter out of these three. Ducklet and the Swanna, beautiful. Vanillite, Vanillish. There it is. And Vanillux. Very nice. Very nice. Zeb Striker looks pretty cool. It's alright though, nothing crazy. I do think, no. There's nothing standing out too much for me in this set compared to the other one. Which is a good thing though, or I guess if you think it's a good thing, because you can pick one or the other. You don't have to buy, the sets are separated. So if you like one set more, you can just buy that box over both. And that's how it always is usually in Japanese sets. But now that's how it is over here in the States as well, with the BlackBolt and WhiteFlare. Both sets will be separated. So if you like one set more than the other, you can just buy one set over the other. And so far, I have liked the other set a little bit more. But of course, it all depends on the SARs. This Galvantula is pretty freaking killer, I'm not gonna lie. Woobat, pretty nice. Swoobat, pretty nice too. That's pretty good. Yamask, and the Cofagrigus evolution line looks pretty nice. Nothing crazy though. Frillish, give or take. Okay, the Gigalith evolution line is pretty nice though. That looks pretty. I like that. I like this card a lot. This could be easy SAR type card right there if it just had texture. Easy. But the sock, that's pretty cool. All right, let's keep on going. The Mind Shell looks all right. There is the Terrakion. That looks pretty epic. Like I said, another card that it just has texture and it could be easily an SAR. So pretty freaking nice. Purloin, beautiful art right there. That is amazing. Liepard evolution right there. Not as cool as Purloin, but still pretty nice. Here is the Scrafty hitting the Nene. That's what it looks like it's hitting actually. What the heck? That's pretty good. And here's the Scraggy, of course, looks pretty good. The trash Pokemon, I still think that illustration rare from, I think Paradox Rift is still the best Garbodor card ever made, because there's barely any. And here's the Zorora and the evolution line Zoroark. Pretty nice, but I will say the ones in Journey Together I do think a little bit nicer, of course. Dino, Zelios, and okay, so that means the Hydreigon's gonna be getting an SAR, which is pretty cool. Okay, Clank. Oh, Yukimori getting an illustration rare. There you go, Ice. Very solid right there on the Clank. There it is. Okay, nice. I like seeing that. Usually, again, Yukimori usually just has a bunch of holos, no SARs or art rares or illustration rares or whatever. Very rarely does it have any. Yukimori has any arts higher than a holo rare, which is pretty cool. And Jujigon, one of the coolest Pokemons, just a dragon, but of course looks really nice. Pat Rat looks goofy, greedy mofo with the food. And here's the evolution. What was his name? I can't forget his name. Watchdog. Weird name. But Pat Rat, of course, classic. Lillipup and Herder, pretty nice. I like this one a lot. And then the Stoutland evolution final one. Rufflet and Bravery, pretty solid. I do think the Bravery card in Surging Sparks is a little bit nicer, but still pretty good. And here is another, I believe another promo, Tornadus, pretty solid. And then there it is. And then we're back to the full arts. Reshiram looks goated, of course. Keldeo, okay, that's pretty nice. Keldeo, the Jellicent, whatever. But here's a Hydreigon full arts, pretty solid. And here's a clown card. Okay. Oh, and Hilda. All right. Of course. And here are the SARs. Whimsicott. Okay, I was not expecting Whimsicott. Not a bad choice though. I like Cottony. Whimsicott, not bad. And here is the Reshiram SAR. Okay, that's insane. The BlackBolt, the Reshiram or the Zekrom SAR. You let me know which one you like more, but this one is pretty nice. Keldeo SAR. Okay, that's insane. Keldeo is freaking awesome. That's a beautiful, beautiful art right there. And another Jellicent SAR. I was not expecting a Jellicent SAR. So Whimsicott and Jellicent. I was not expecting that at all. And here is the Hydreigon SAR. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Hydreigon, the pseudo legendary, I guess. Beautiful, beautiful art right there. That is insane. And Bouffalant. I mean, like, I wasn't expecting any of these Pokemon to be picked as the SAR. That's pretty nice, pretty nice. And Hilda, of course, there is. Oh, okay, that's insane. That is insane with the Zebstrika and the Emboar, of course, and the Uzavent Final Evolution. Fantastic SAR for Hilda. There it is. That might be my favorite card here. Maybe other than the Reshiram and the Keldeo. But definitely this Hilda is amazing. And then of course here is the BWR, black and white, black, or BWR, I don't know what that means. But fantastic full arts, there it is. And of course, let's just, you know, if you're here for the Japanese sense, like I said, each booster box will come 20 packs, just like the 151 Japanese booster box. 4 illustration rares in each, which I believe is 1 up from the 3 in normal sense. So pretty good. 1 Master Ball and reverse hollows. So that's pretty good. And of course, like I said, either a full art SR or an SAR. So not guaranteed SARs like in Prismatic. You know, I know this is a specialty set, but it's not in the small box like the Prismatic or the Terrestrial or whatever. It's like the 151 one. So pretty good. They're pretty good. Yeah, and of course, God packs or a thing still in Japanese boxes. I don't know if that's how it's going to be in the English set, so that would be something to look out for. But of course, this God box or these God packs will be a little different because it's not, like I said, not Terrestrial Festival. It's not going to be SAR after SAR after SAR. It's going to be illustration rares. But yeah, I think it's still too early to really know how the odds of getting one of these, because this set just came out in Japan like 2 days ago. So, and of course in English, we don't even know if we have them yet. That's pretty much all the cards we have so far. I mean, that's pretty much everything. I think that's everything. And in my opinion, this Hilda and the Keldeo and the Reshirams are pretty solid. But I might like the BlackBolt set a little bit more. I don't know. I think I like some of the illustration rares a little bit more. Like, I mean, this Carablast, a Pokemon that I just don't care about. This art is insane. Right? I mean, even as Among Us, pretty nice. Victini, of course, goated. But of course, this, I don't know exactly how the cards are going to be put in each set in English. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty much the same. So, like in the BlackBolt set for English, in this set, we'll have all the BlackBolt secret rares that I listed here, that are listed here on the Poke Beach website. But in my opinion, I don't know. I might like the BlackBolt set a little bit more. One, Genesect is one of my favorite Pokemons, of course, and all the SARs here I like, except for maybe the Exegro. Maybe the Exegro. But of course, Kyurem again, Kyurem and Zekrom, I mean, it's, and the Meloetta, I mean, it's a, I will say though, the WhiteFlare set is amazing as well. I do love this Hilda card. That might be my favorite card out of all of these, with the Reshiram and the Keldeo. But the Whimsicott, the Jellicent, and the Bouffalant, you know, they look nice, but they're Pokemon that I just don't really care for. Whimsicott, though, is a little bit of an exception. Whimsicott's pretty cool. But of course, Hydreigon might be another chase for me. I don't know. I think they separated these cards enough to where both sets are worthy of chases to open. But I will say, I might like the regular illustrations more in the BlackBolt set compared to the WhiteFlare. But let me know what you think. There is just the BlackBolt and WhiteFlare, all the illustration rares and the SARs revealed. I'm assuming it's all of them. I don't think there's gonna be any more. And of course, Pokeballs and Master Balls will be a thing, and regular EXs, of course. I mean, that, of course. But there is a set. It looks amazing. Let me know what you think. You know, and of course, if you're watching this, you don't mind spoilers. Let me know if you're hyped for this set. And yeah, it looks insane. I'm really happy to see that, as well as in English, we're gonna be getting a split set. You know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. At first, I was like, okay, why are they doing that? Because of right now, there's just not enough product. But I do think if they print enough, it will be really cool to collect one set over the other. Or it's just gonna be chaos, and no one's gonna get anything. It's gonna be really hard. But I don't know. I mean, of course, it's still too early to find out. I believe this set in English comes out in like a month or two. I'm not 100% sure when. But yeah, there it is. BlackBolt, WhiteFlare. Let me know which set you like more. There it is. Set looks insane. Though, of course, this set already released in Japan, so you might be opening up the set already. Let me know how the hits are if you are. And then, yeah, I'll end it there. I got nothing else to say. Yeah, can't wait. Hopefully I can get my hands on this. I wasn't able to get any of the English sets. Maybe I'll buy the Japanese boxes. I usually don't. I stopped buying Japanese boxes because the price got a little too high for me. I'm not paying $100 for a regular set Japanese set. I'm just not doing that when I was paying 35 to 40. But for this set, it might be worth it. I don't know. But I own it there. What's my outro again? Goodbye.